So, my dear, my coach, Benin Republic. Ah, Nigeria, who's the one like this? Yeah, that's that one. Anything you play for that one. That match, man. The one that you say that match. Because the one that looking qualified. They're looking qualified, so. Except, if you do how many points, I think I'm 14. Ah, they're looking qualified. No, Rwanda. If they would have been 14 points, South Africa did 15 points. I get we need to qualify. If we win this one, we need to win at least 2 games. That's made the show. That's made the show. The goal to the coach after next year. Why does it be one?
Nigeria in the white with the blue green piping around the sleeves and the pants will play from left to right during the first half. Will come in the wrong direction from the captain Wilson and GD. No problem for Stanley Mabali. Interesting in this one, I mean, South Africa is playing against Rwanda in the same group and must win for Nigeria, for Benin, and for South Africa. So it's going to be one heck of an evening that we're involved in here in Group C. And just to tell you as well, from a South African context point of view, Benin Republic playing for Chipper United down on the eastern seaboard of South Africa in Quebec, or Lisbon if you like, while Marcel Tanchinu used to play in the capital city, Pretoria, with a side called JDR Stars, who sold their status at the beginning of this current domestic season in South Africa. They were in the first division, and he's now moved over as Marcel Tanchinu to another first division side. And he's not listed in class today. Two will win over South Africa back tonight. Very, very Auckland United in Kruger Park. Interesting indeed. A lot of goalkeepers in the southern tip of Africa. Oh no, but if you look at the South African match against Rwanda, Pietro Chiore plays for under Chiefs in South Africa. Yeah, playing for South African side. So all goalkeepers in the very interesting context of Group C tonight play at the southern tip of Africa. And then started on the outside to the little clearance there from Nigeria. Semiachi and Jay and Zaidi Sanusi with a very important role to play for Nigeria to rush to the back. And up front, the opportunities are going to be taken when they are presented by Osimhen and Adams. I'm looking forward to having a look at Adams. It's only his third appearance for Nigeria.
A pass! Oh! Come on! Come on! This is where the pass! This where the pass! But when I go, we need more goals. Ah, nice start! Nice start! Without trying to move up. And he said, I'm going past the pass.
And then finish that we've come to expect.
First, I think like she puts it past him. Russia said the African best player.
Victor Osimhen puts Nigeria ahead. Just the start Nigeria needed. Goalkeeper expecting him to go to the far post. He squeezes it in at the near post. The Ben tried one touch to set it up. And strike. And set his country up nicely.
Beautiful start. Good goalkeeper could have stopped in that stanza. Well, he could if he scores a hat-trick in the next 10 minutes, I suppose. But yeah, you don't think he can get a better start and settle the nerves down. They are playing in front of their home supporters, so there'll be a bit of anxiety, maybe a little bit of anticipation. Osimhen, 3 minutes played. Nigeria have a single goal, which is their 12th goal of the campaign. It puts them on a +4 goal difference. Or if you look at the live table, they are on Nigeria, I'm talking about, on 17 points with a +4 goal difference. Benin, South Africa, well, Benin's on 18 points. South Africa on 16. South Africa down into 3rd position of the table. And Nigeria in the second on a live standings log at the moment.
This match,
Every single goal match, that's the one side. For Benin, if they beat Nigeria, they qualify. If they draw against Nigeria, South Africa draw against Rwanda, and then it would be Benin to go through. And Nigeria's got some work to do if they are going to top Benin. 2 goals to nil will be enough for Nigeria to win the business for a 2-goal cushion over Benin.
Benin has 16
They
points.
have no control over
South Africa has
between South
15.
Africa and Rwanda.
Unfortunately for them,
We just need to make the last 7
great start there. But you created that's looking lively early on. Detecting the turn midfield. First half didn't find Osimhen, the second one certainly did. And that's what you need from your strikers. 1 chance, 1 goal.
Like this time, we try to solve.
Group C now, the leaders, Nigeria, on 17 points.
Now, don't forget, of course, that Benin would have a goal minus from their 5, so they're on 4. It's almost identical.
Nice one.
As far as all the
Look where the ball.
That's a live table.
Osimhen did it fall like that.
Sitting down once again. Nigeria Benin on top of the table. 4 matches or 4 goal difference and 17 points apiece. But you go through all the connotations to see if it ends that way, because they both scored 8 and conceded 3, but they both scored 12 and conceded 8, so they have an identical goal difference and an identical points tally as well.
2-0.
Where's it to the half-time boy?
To the middle for Taco Adams.
Ah, Red, what did it stop?
In the opening 5-6 minutes of this match is that Nigeria showing
I've been a just
a
win.
lot of passion, and it's not a bad thing.
What's the
See them scoring first as well. Considering the Super Eagles down, hoping to make the FIFA World Cup finals for the first time since 2018. He's coming through. South Africa lead over Rwanda
Look at us score.
by 1-0.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
so much.
will put South Africa on 18 points.
How much
South
do
Africa. Okay, to the
South Africa divide that one.
Don't forget, we have to also look at that the best 4 second best place sides.
South Africa divide that one.
They will go through to a mini tournament to the intercontinental phase of the situation. But yeah, South Africa 1-0, Nigeria 1-0, and well, that's all turning out to be rather exciting in it. If South Africa wins and Nigeria wins, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, good start.
South Africa
Only
win. One person that
high on 5 defensively. And that's where Arsenal found
And if
space.
South Africa was not having 18 points.
Make no mistake, it's a Benin side that will respond. They will choose the direct route, looking to pick out strikers equally.
Top scoring for South Africa, according to what I've seen online, and we'll try to keep you posted and updated as far as the scores are going to be. Certainly know that Ottoman has a score for Nigeria, and that celebration, and rightly so, was a great celebration for Nigeria, has become a little bit muted.
Yeah.
Because as we said earlier on, there's absolutely nothing they can do about South Africa.
You said South Africa
They did not play well.
So
the guys draw.
The
The guys draw on
countries in Nigeria and Benin will be looking at their phones, will be trying to keep up to date and then sending that message to the players on field.
Calculator best.
No,
So the scores that tell that sort of good sort of have made a little bit of business over the last little while, setting calculators left, right, and centre. And if you have a calculator on your phone or on your laptop, whatever device you have, then I'm sure that's coming into play as well. Interesting that Sam Mbapal is not taking the spotted goal kick. It was taken by Calvin Bassey. One of 3, by the way, full of players in the starting lineup today.
Nice one.
So a bit of skill from the side. It's a huge cheer from the supporters here.
Okay.
That's a great move there by Sanusi. Benin still committing a few men forward there. Left space for Nigeria to exploit.
Just want to reiterate as well is that the first column that has to be looked at as far as qualifying is concerned is the points column. And so it doesn't really matter the scoreline between Nigeria and Benin. They could win 10-0. They're only going to get to 17 points where they are at the moment. Unless there's a slip up from South Africa, Rwanda come back in and encounter, which they have plenty of time, of course, to do. Things are looking good for the side from the southern tip of Africa. They were deducted, don't forget, 3 points for playing a player that had.
This one against Nigeria.
Hands and keeping him out of the lineup today for Nigeria. But that what's costly, could have been costly, could still be costly for South Africa. But they seem to put that behind them. And Hugo Bruce having South Africa now on the top of the table with 18 points and that 1-0 scoreline. All you have to do to win a football match is to not continue to score one. That's what Nigeria are doing, that's what South Africa are doing.
And as it stands, remember there's 4 second place teams that will go through to a further qualification round. As it stands currently, it's Gabon with 16 points, Cameroon on 15, Burkina Faso on 15, and Niger on 15.
None of these 2 slides, it's going to be updated truly. And don't forget, it's been an interesting situation as far as the FIFA rules are concerned for the situation. There will be 9 second place sides, 1 from each group, and to compare fairly, the results against the last place team in each group will not be considered.
Correct.
So it's only going to be 8 matches. So we've got to watch out for that very carefully as to how that's going to be constituted by the end of tonight, and even more calculators and many computers used to calculate that situation. And I think it's only fair to concentrate on the match rather than this group rather than that group.
Exciting stuff, isn't it?
Very much so. And it's going to flow. It's going to ebb and flow with every goal that comes in. And the other groups that still have to be decided. Group B with Senegal and Democratic Republic of Congo separated by only 2 points. Group F with Ivory Coast and Gabon only separated by 1 point in that group. So still a couple of places available for West African sides. There's Gernot Rowe, well known on the African continent, as I say, well known with Nigeria as well, and all the success that he had with the Super Eagles.
Money guy, please.
Has done an awesome job with Benin, an opportunity to win the match, to go through to the World Cup. He's put them in a great position, and currently find himself trading by a goal, but still looking confident. There's still a lot of time left.
You just said in other matches, I see that Botswana have just scored against Guinea away from home. Mozambique have just scored against Somalia away from home. Earlier today, Gambia beating the Seychelles away from home by 7 goals to 0, but not really instrumental. Now it is instrumental, it's an opportunity! 3 goals already in the tournament, and he opened his body beautifully. If he hit a little bit harder, your body might have been in trouble. And I think Nigeria got away with it.
Lack of a power there. The attempt from Steve Lee. Not the best of crosses there from Mutunji.
Benin certainly not going to sit back and try and defend. There's absolutely no purpose to that whatsoever. It's a lovely little slider through the middle as well from David Kiki. Supply will come from the touchline. Look how cool, calm and collected Calvin Bassey is.
What do you call for the drone?
So you pointed out Calvin Bassey and Fulham. 3 players in the starting lineup of Nigeria, as you mentioned earlier. They kept currently playing their trade.
Let's not lose
Incredible for a side like Fulham to have the quality of those players in their starting lineup. A little bit of a foot up there with the clearance from Nigeria. Referee from Egypt. Trying to see the allocation of referees. So North African referee. So I think from South Africa or Southern Africa that might have context in some way, and people sometimes have views about the appointment of referees. But it's a good appointment, an Egyptian official for a West African clash, and taking Rwanda and Central Africa and South Africa and Southern Africa, there's absolutely no conflict. Free kick to Benin.
This is probably a rush, go find
He's a high good advantage, nicely away though by Wilfred and Titi. Captain really putting up a good show for Nigeria. It's got a lead by example, and it was slow pass. Nice recovery though from Benjamin Frederick.
That's
We'll keep updating the scores for you, just for the sake of reminding you of what the group looks like. And if you look at the bottom left-hand side of your screen, the broadcasters will also put the updated scores in there, and an updated lottery table for you. But just to remind you, South Africa still lead over Rwanda by a goal to 0. This is Mutunji, one of 2 Mutunjis in the starting line, and a corner run by Benin.
It's a nice battle there between Mutunji as well as Frederick.
These are a keeper, not supposed to be keeper Nigeria.
After the first time there, Mutunji just trying to take him on. Mutunji playing in the Bundesliga with St. Pauli.
Staying with Bali. Didn't have a good time of it in the previous encounter just before the World Cup qualifiers in domestic league in South Africa. Played against the side called Richards Bay FC and shipped 4 goals, 1 in the first half, 3 in the second in domestic league. But different type of quality defending surely from the Super Eagles, isn't it?
Nice keep.
Confidently, but look at the protection around him. The big unit is the 29-year-old. 25th appearance for Nigeria. Didi playing in the pocket. And look at the way Nigeria look to dominate and to dictate the pace of the match, and looking to have it all their own way, and even more so with every passing moment. That opening goal in just the 3rd minute, or barely the 3rd minute, because it was about 2 minutes and 20 seconds in the goal came, really setting down the Super Eagles. Have to be careful, I suppose, in one way of complacency.
Very important, yeah. Just to get that second goal and a bit of a breather for Nigeria. Great hold up play there from Adams.
Mariah trying to cause problems for it, but no such luck. Messi now with the ball once again away, and suddenly the injection of pace from the Super Eagles. They do play with a nice flow to Benin, and I can expect that from any Benin coached side. Kiki looking to come forward, looking to use the width of this beautiful pitch in Uyo to their advantage. Here are the visitors. That's a good whistle.
A little bit overcooked there from Benin. Confident indeed. Tosi with the attempted cross.
These takers.
You know, just continue to dictate the pace of the game.
All these African games that you play, you guys go show something.
Chill out his bench.
So we have to start take on.
They are not moving Nigeria go World Cup.
They really need some more goals now.
Yeah, they're finding your pocket face. Look at South Africa win Nigeria no go World Cup.
They drew 1-1 with Lesotho in the opening match, and drew away 1-1 with Zimbabwe, who turned out to be the two bottom sides in the group at the moment. You wouldn't have known that in rounds 1 and 2, but those are the situations. That's 4 points dropped in your opening 2 matches against sides that ordinarily wouldn't, with all due respect to Zimbabwe and Lesotho, qualified for a FIFA World Cup finals, where you're playing against a Nigerian side who've qualified 6 times.
Yeah.
Might have been offside against Nigeria, he's offside against Nigeria.
Yeah, as you mentioned, give a rather slow start to their qualifying campaign. But they did wake up, they put themselves in a chance, but not in their control. They can just control what they can do, and so far so good. 3 points. Need a few more goals in this game.
When you got to the end of the 3rd match, which was the South African match, 3 matches all 1-1. And you were looking at Nigeria and saying, well, is there any hope that Nigeria are even going to pose a threat? But they did come back and they started getting results and beat Rwanda away 2-0. And went on after that to formulate results that have got them into this situation. However, is it that not convincing start to the group that might be costly at the end of the day? Is the 20 minutes play, Nigeria they're doing the business that they need to do. They lead by 1-0. South Africa lead by 1-0 as well, and started 1 point better in Group C than what Nigeria did. There's the damage. Victor Osimhen. A big skill being shown by Nigeria, looking to turn this time on here. Zanusi finds himself. Plays in Portugal with Porto.
Alex Iwobi with some neat footwork there. Very easy in possession.
Go for him. Raise him for Osimhen. Osimhen.
The prospect out the back post over the top of
Get your boys and get your boys in.
Still a danger is there for Chukwueze. What's a lovely ball from Chukwueze. Enough attention though.
Chukwueze is a believer.
2 points, Victor Osimhen outside in there.
It's a grand ball.
Chukwueze putting the strings in midfield.
Drop the ball for Osimhen.
Because Adams had kept it alive. And another attempted pass here from Chukwueze. Picking up the striker. I think it was Verdon that got in the way.
continues to be a threat. Was a threat with the opening goal of the match, and he's a threat at the moment. The man who's down is simply Buffon, 31-year-old who plays at Benin Republic in Turkey. Something organising being done by the Nigerians who still have that energetic flair about them. Benin coach Shugun as well, having a chat there to David Kiki.
It's Nigeria dominating with the goal to the good. Possession stands 60% to 40% for Benin.
I don't want that. I watch our coaches and people they say mix of substitutions, they don't qualify. This, that, is. Honestly, I would say that much.
Trying to look for that ranking of the runners-up group. There doesn't seem to be a live table that's available for that at the moment. We'll try and find one of those for you just to keep you posted with some sort of perspective of how things might turn out, because if you have a look at this particular group, it's so tight at the top at the moment. South Africa on 18 points, Benin and Nigeria both on 17 points, and every chance currently that Nigeria could be one of those top 4 teams in that qualifying situation. If you look at the top teams in that group at the moment, Gabon has 16 and they've already qualified, so assured of the second round. So with 17 points, Benin and Nigeria certainly have a chance. Certainly Nigeria, who are now above Benin as far as the table is concerned, and all the permutations have been calculated. So the Super League
This was the math!
go further into that intercontinental battle that will start as early as the 13th of November, which is a month away. And he's a constant danger. Steve Mounier, and good work done by Moses Simon. One of the 2 most experienced players in the starting lineup today for the Super Eagles. Alex Iwobi earning his 89th cap, and Simon is 86th. Both have got 10 goals for the Super Eagles. Both around about the same age as well. Free kick to Benin. Once again, Rubali seems to be out of trouble. I don't think he really appreciated the tension of
I'm not like it's super. It's figure confidence.
It's not Mali.
It's like a jump ball.
Wasting his own time there.
It's like a jump ball. The ref no blow. It's supposed to be goal. This is supposed to be goal. This keeper is a big fool.
Chat to the match referee.
I think that they're cross communication, but that's supposed to be
He,
goal.
of course, has the latitude to do that, because he wears the captain's armband, and there has been a bit of a change. It's a wonderful bottling up by the 2 defenders. However, Chukwueze gets the benefit of a second ball, and
handball!
beautifully
Jesus,
blocked.
it's
So
so
Praise immediately waves for no handball from the defender, and he was in a great position to see it. Mr. Omar from Egypt. There was an appeal immediately. It was a great block from the Benin defenders against Akko Adams.
Arsenal continue to prowl, looking for his second.
The sort of technology we have, I'm not sure if the technology was anywhere near what it is these days, really good playing days, because you work from home, and these are the situations where you're looking for information as quickly as possible. It's impossible
To get on the phone into a reception.
after these running out to the bus again. Nowadays, it's just readily available at the blink of an eye.
It's an app away.
Get that gear keeper.
Kept his eye on the ball there, Frederick needed to. Good sportsmanship there showed from Frederick. In for Tender in Belgium.
Nice opponent, Hassan Imaradi, 22-year-old who plays for Grasshopper in Switzerland.
Yeah, my ex-team.
Sorry from David Kiki. Happy to do his part of defending himself. Everybody behind the halfway line for Nigeria. No problems for Marcel Danjilu. South Africa have just scored a second, by the way. And that makes it Nigeria. So South Africa top of the group. And they have a plus 5 goal difference of 18 points, a plus 4 goal difference for Benin, a plus 4 goal difference for Nigeria. And therefore, even on goal difference, the side at the bottom of the African continent have now a very meaningful advantage in Group C. There'll be a lot of delight, no doubt, in South Africa.
And I'm sure the news will have found its way to Nigeria. What's left for Nigeria is now to score as many goals as possible so they can get to that second place position.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key at the moment. As you said, there's absolutely nothing that Nigeria nor Benin, as we have confirmation of where Group C finds itself at the moment. South Africa still on 18 points, obviously, but now with the best goal difference in the group. Oh, it's a lovely ball in the area. Where's the support coming from? Soliding from Mufachi. That Nigeria, Benin are not going to sit down and allow Nigeria to
I see what when I see the coaching, you know, you use invest in them way they use the placements, you know, use anybody. Those guys compliment. So that they don't qualify already. So
Great to win
that's innocent.
Moving header from Tijani, no problems.
And they see more possession now,
Opportunity for respite and to take things easy as well for the Nigerian goalkeeper. Certainly not at this level. South Africa have scored with an assist from Evidence Makhopa. Polis, who had the assist for the first goal, scores the second for South Africa. So Barter with the opening goal. And Barter, former SuperSport United player, plays at Orlando Pirates. And Polis has just signed from Orlando Pirates from Port Quality City. So I'm sure the chairman of the South African Premier League will be exceptionally delighted with these two signings, one this season, one the previous, making a contribution for their country. Potentially,
it's what is the finals.
We're here by Tiwobi. You mentioned one of 3 Fulham-based players in the starting line, but playing in different areas of the park as well. Half an hour played in Oyo State, Nigeria. Looking to put the icing on a cake here. That's going to not convert the result of this match into a place in the World Cup finals yet. However, it could very well cement their place above Benin behind South Africa in the group, and then maybe just one of those 4 places available as far as the second place signs are concerned. 4 places available there, and then that intercontinental playoff and the little mini league between the 4 African sides will take place on the 13th of November. So that's going to be fascinating in itself, a little mini tournament, and then an intercontinental battle thereafter. So, yeah, not the end of the road, but when you're going to play maybe an extra 3 matches, it's going to be tight for Nigeria. But, you know, you want to play the World Cup. You have played the World Cup 6 times, including 2018, the last time that Nigeria did play. And they played in Russia under Gernot Rohr. Started in 1994 in USA, did Nigeria, round of 16, lost against Italy after extra time. 4 years later in France, top of Group D. In fact, they were top of Group D in 94 as well. Round of 16 lost 4-1 against Denmark. And then 2002 and 2010, bottom of Group F and B, respectively. They're loving this right-hand side here on the Benin side, and again looking for Taminu Udru. And that left-hand side of defence for Nigeria is really going to be switched on.
I think it was a light ball there, but Benin continuing to look dangerous there. It's the overlapping run by Uhuru. And after best of balls played through from Dossin to the man and not to the space. Just trickling for an out ball.
Now the assistant referee on the far side flag came up very late indeed. He did have it up for the goalkeeper. I'm not sure whether it was from the initial effort from Uru or whether it was the afterwards. Nigeria with the play down at the moment, but Adams is not interested in stopping. They'll have to stop now because the referee intervenes. And the fans may be a little perplexed by that because there was momentum on the right-hand side from the Super Eagles. As things stand at the moment, South Africa lead over Rwanda by 2-0. Don't forget they lost against Rwanda by that scoreline when they met in round 2. So a bit of revenge as far as that's concerned, as Alex Iwobi receives a bit of medical attention just to the top of his shoulder, the base of his neck. But have a look at the injury there, a big collision in the middle of the park with Dodo Doku.
They came through, I think, a bit of the elbow just catching there, Alex Iwobi.
So the way things stand in the group with South Africa leading by 2-0, so South Africa through to the FIFA World Cup finals as things stand at the moment on a live table. If Nigeria win this match, however, it's going to turn it all around in a completely different direction, isn't it? Because then it'll be Benin to go through, and then the battle's on for the 4 best second place sides on the table, which is something that is very, very relevant as far as still qualifying. And it's interesting that with the number of teams that are going, the extended version of the FIFA World Cup finals, the most teams ever to qualify for the World Cup finals to take place in Mexico, United States, and Canada in the middle of next year, is that 9 teams automatically qualify from the African continent, the most ever, as there's a bit of a careless header from Benin in the corner to Nigeria. But so 9 automatically qualify, but it could be 10.
Yeah.
If one of the 4 sides that qualify in that little mini group win the intercontinental battle, we could have 10 teams in the World Cup finals, which is brilliant.
It's good for Africa.
Ten minutes to go before half time in Oyo. I reckon that's the first corner for Nigeria. I think it really matters as far as they're concerned, with the exception that set pieces are particularly dangerous. Moses Simon tries a variation right from the offset. Sanusi will touch down by Tosi Ayegun. Straight back from Nigeria though. Look at the numbers they have forward here. Osimhen calling for the ball. The swing and the miss from Chukwueze. It's Benin an opportunity to counter.
Yeah, they need some goals. Because Uganda's leading against Algeria changed it a bit, so they need 2 more goals. They need to win by 3 goals to 0 if they have any chance or hope.
Algeria
Being
still
that 4 teams in second place, so it's ever changing.
It's an incredible result away from home for Uganda against an Algerian side who have already qualified in Group G. Uganda get close to within 1 though. That'll put them on 21 points and a huge advantage for the Cranes. That's a massive situation as far as they're concerned. And you might say, well, you've got the 9 teams, they've won the group, there's nothing left to play for, there's plenty to play for. As far as being one of those top 4 sides is concerned. So just prolongs the opportunity. And who doesn't want to play the FIFA World Cup final? Space in the back.
coisa vai de tro. Coisa de pass, de cross. Olha só isso aí,
Looking perplexed in defense, what's about to do? And he's trying to defend this team.
Now I go. Now I want like saying it don't foul now for that.
It's the man at the moment. They're claiming an end on. They're claiming pushing. The match referee for Egypt might be under a little bit of pressure. Celebrations will be loud. They'll be vociferous. For many miles around the Rio Estate and the crowd erupt.
That stand up way don't do this for me.
It's Osimhen that grows highest in his country. And it is once again the delivery from Chukwueze was there. A bit of a hand on the shoulders. At first glance, it doesn't look like it. It seems to be closer, but it's Osimhen.
About stand up.
The comfort zone, and this man has been pulling the strings all afternoon. Chukwueze one touch to give it twice. Second one, but then unrushing one, and it is Osimhen that goes highest. I don't see any infringement.
No.
Yeah, they're not jump.
That's 5 goals he scored in Group C, and the Nigerians now know they won't let South Africa lead by 2 goals.
If you want South Africa,
there's nothing they can do about that. In Group C, it might only be 17 points. If you look at Uganda with a potential 21 points, how many other teams could potentially be in the 20s? Will 17 points be enough? In the best four of the second place sides. You got to make no difference.
And the rest was just in the I don't know why. I don't think they play coach feedback. High rated player could give up for the bench. Come bring one.
Got 2 already.
So the high rated player for it. Oh, but this one, honestly, Lookman is better than
Uru is the player that's injured.
Was correct form.
I mean, Uru.
Correct form.
Plays the
Far better than Lookman.
Lookman doesn't play in the Emirates. He plays for Galatasaray in Turkey. And he's a bit of a hero at the moment in Nigeria. So they scored the goal against Liverpool recently, the Champions League, from a penalty spot kick. Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, just one life like yeah. Let's me jump on it.
Group C coming alive. South Africa leading Rwanda by 2-0 in a home encounter. Nigeria leading over Benin by the same scoreline in a home encounter. Injury to Uru will take place off the field of play. Heading up towards the 40th minute. Goals coming 34 minutes apart. The same man scoring both. A wonderful aerial presence. And good presence with all of these feet as well. Victor Osimhen. 28 goals now. Nigeria with a +5 goal difference. Benin with +3. It's just that single point. That is the problem for the Super Eagles at the moment. Against Rwanda in Mbubela.
They cross out now.
They don't have a football match and hope that the football gods play their part as well as that those 4 best second place teams. Certainly not for Nigeria at the moment. Good play here by Andreas Utanji. There you go. Moving players forward, and Munier is one of them. Again, very easy pickings for Calvin Bessie. Nice to see that Uru has recovered from that knock that he took from Osimhen. That's been a good first half for Nigeria, Stanton. It's been an excellent start for them. 3rd-minute goal from Osimhen gave them the confidence. They controlled the balance of play. They got that all-important second one. And they're looking for more. It's how you to respond. They look a little bit dejected. They only had that one attempt on goal. He's looking alive, but other than that, Still trying to find something from this encounter.
Well, I see
Nigeria clearly in control.
Why did you
Both
the
opportunities,
match
both of them on the right hand side, one of them with Huntonji and the other that fell to Uru, who overran things a little bit under pressure from Zaidu Sanusi, but it was Huntonji in the side netting, which was a little bit of a concern. However, since then, Nigeria scored a second goal.
Yellow card, not down. I just can't really.
Today, this man is unplayable. Chukwueze. His passing, his work rate, his awareness. He's been a key figure in midfield for Nigeria this afternoon. Just a burst of pace there, catching out striker, trying to put in some defensive work there, Bunyi.
This guy works first in Nigeria.
Nigeria and Benin have faced each other on 19 previous occasions, with only 2 wins for Benin, most recent of which was in round 4 of World Cup qualification. Benin won 2-1, but after that, Nigeria beating Benin by 3-0 at home on the 7th of September last year in the African Cup of Nations qualification, and then drawing away Benin 1-1 about 3 weeks later in a group that was shared by Rwanda and Namibia, strangely enough. So it's only South Africa that was left out of that group, almost similar in AFCON qualifying to World Cup qualifications. And so top of Group D, and one would think, well, maybe they'd all end up in the same group as far as the African Cup of Nations finals in Morocco are concerned. But you don't have to worry about that so much, because South Africa are in Group B with Egypt and Ghana and Zimbabwe. Nigeria Group C with Tunisia, Uganda, and Tanzania, and Benin Group D with Senegal, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and for smaller, but interesting that the 3 that are playing their hearts out to try and win a place in the FIFA World Cup finals also have contested in African Cup of Nations qualification, and Benin and Nigeria in the same group, and will Benin, South Africa, and Nigeria all through to the African Cup of Nations finals in Morocco. It's going to be interesting days. Oh, it's about 4 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
No Christmas tree, is that people?
I'll watch you and listen to you from the beach, hopefully.
You're going to try to make some work more as a central player now. This is headed over towards David Kiki.
Not blow foul.
It's nice to see Taro Chukwueze is applying himself here today.
Not blow foul for this.
He's playing deep to the byline on the Benin side of the field, and he comes back and plays almost to the edge of his own penalty area. Really, he's a quality player, is Samuel. That assist that he picked up just a couple of minutes ago, but that second Osimhen goal was absolutely brilliant. 5 minutes added on by the Egyptian officials. At the end of the first half, we had seen a couple of injuries, one of them to Hutonji, the other one to Uru, and the time that had been passed in the completing of that medical treatment is added on to the end of the first half here at the Godswill Abio Stadium. Nigeria lead by 2-0. They were pushing from Wanye. Claims his innocence. They all do, don't they? Claiming there was an elbow in his throat from one of the Nigerian defenders.
So Nabani will take his time here.